For joining us here for the Fox 61 News at 10, I'm Brent Harden. We have a lot of news to get to tonight. We begin with the weather impact alert. Thunderstorms moved through the state earlier today, and we could see another round tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here now with the latest on the forecast. Rachel.
Yeah, we have one more day of heat, humidity, and afternoon thunderstorms. So we have a weather impact alert in effect through tomorrow. For some inland areas, it will feel like 95 degrees or hotter. So whatever you did to stay cool today, we're doing it all over again tomorrow. We know today that there were some school closures or early dismissals, and it's just challenging to deal with this time of year more than even a month or two from now when we're more prepared. And we're also watching the potential for some strong storms. This will be tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. I don't think they're widespread, but a couple of them have the potential to bring strong gusty winds and even some large hail. Here's a look at the satellite and radar now. We are quiet after what was a busy afternoon of those thunderstorms. Temperatures right now are in the 70s and 60s, and that's where the numbers stay as we head towards daybreak. So it is going to be a warm start to the day tomorrow, and it is going to be a hot finish. We'll see high temperatures between 85 to right around 90 degrees. And again, after 1 o'clock, there will be a rising chance for thunderstorms. We'll take a closer look at this, plus the big cool down that follows and what that means heading into this holiday weekend coming up. Brent.
Rachel, thank you. It was a chaotic afternoon in Middletown after a shooting incident had people in one neighborhood sheltering in place. Police lifted that precaution a few hours ago, but tonight they are still searching for a man who they say shot at someone there. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot has been following the story for a few hours now. So Kay, what can you tell us?
Brent, Middletown police and surrounding towns are using canines and drones to find this man on your screen, Christopher Lane. Police say he and the victim he tried to shoot at in the car. He missed, and that's when the gunshots went off. But instead, he hit an apartment building nearby.
We've been, I don't know, sitting on our balcony, just kind of seeing if there's any update.
People in the Westlake Drive neighborhood say it's quiet, and on warm days like Tuesday, people are usually outside. But on this Tuesday night, the only people outside were officers and people walking dogs.
I was at work and I got a text saying shelter in place in the Westlake area, and I came home and it was all blocked off.
My phone died, and it's in that moment where you're like, what is going on? You know, pulled up here, we've been living here for a few years and never seen anything like this.
After the shooting, police issued a shelter in place for people living in the area. One woman who did not want to go on camera heard the gunfire. She says she called Laura Goodwin, her friend, immediately.
Well, I was driving home from work on Route 9, almost up on Westlake, and my friend Tara called me because we were going to do dinner, and she said, I swear to God, I just heard gunshots. And she goes in her house, and she comes out, she's like, oh my God, there was a shooting. I heard like 5 gunshots. And yeah, so it's right around the corner from where we live. It's a very safe neighborhood. You know, stuff like this doesn't happen here.
Middletown police lifted the shelter in place but are still looking for Lane. They shared this picture of Lane. They say he has long hair and a beard, and he was last seen wearing black clothing. We are told he doesn't live in Middletown and is traveling by foot.
People are urged to call 911 if they see anything suspicious. And again, if you see him, do not make contact or approach. Live in Middletown, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. I-95 in Madison is back open tonight after a motorcycle crash. It happened near exit 60 this afternoon. State police said there were serious injuries. We'll update you as we learn more information. And a deadly crash shut down a part of Hebron Avenue in Glastonbury this afternoon. Police say an 84-year-old man was driving east when he turned left toward Glenwood Road and into the path of an oncoming vehicle. Investigators say the impact pushed the vehicle into a third car that was waiting to turn. The 84-year-old driver was taken to a hospital where he later died. A passenger in the same vehicle was also taken to the hospital. Hebron Avenue was closed for several hours during the investigation, but it has since reopened. One person is dead and multiple people are injured after a destructive house fire in Bloomfield today. Fox 61's Tim Latow has the details from the scene on Blue Hills Avenue.
Firefighters say the search for a missing woman in this mangled home was prolonged due to fears of collapse. She was found dead hours later in the second-floor bedroom.
We tried to make an interior attack, but we were forced back by the heavy volume of flames.
The house at the corner of Blue Hills Avenue and Darby Street is now a black skeleton, partially caved in. A fire Tuesday afternoon injured multiple people inside the home, and one woman was found dead. Blue Hills Fire Department Chief Willie Jones says rescue attempts made by witnesses and his own firefighters were impossible.
One gentleman said he tried to go up the stairs, but it was way too hot.
The fire was much larger than most daytime fires typically are. Jones says that'll be a factor examined in the investigation.
It was a very heavy fire volume, especially for, 2:30 in the afternoon on Main Street. It was really, I've been involved in the fire service for many years, and, usually when you see that type of fire volume, it's overnight.
Several people who identified themselves to us as family members questioned the response time of the firefighters. Jones says his department, which is a mix of career and volunteer firefighters, was on scene 4 minutes after their station received the 911 call.
We have people at the firehouse, and, they responded immediately at the tones. I was here immediately, and Hartford Fire, which is down the street, were called immediately.
The firefighters battled flames and continued to knock down hotspots for nearly 2 hours in temperatures that soared to the 90s. It took a toll on some firefighters, as two to be treated for heat exhaustion.
It's more heat related. I don't think the injuries are, serious or life-threatening.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. In Bloomfield, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
Well, Norwalk fire crews responded to a commercial building fire on Eli Avenue this afternoon. Firefighters say a fire in debris left behind the building spread to the structure, driven by windy conditions. Crews got the fire under control in about 35 minutes. Officials say damage was mostly limited to the outside of the building and no injuries were reported. The cause remains under investigation tonight. A Newington man wanted in connection with the 1986 homicide in Virginia is now in custody. 66-year-old Charles Berry was arrested Sunday in coordination with the Virginia Beach Police Department. Authorities in Virginia say Berry is wanted on a warrant connected to a homicide investigation that dates back 40 years. He was charged as a fugitive from justice, processed in Newington, and taken to New Britain Superior Court today. Virginia Beach Police are expected to hold a news conference tomorrow morning to discuss the investigation and the arrest. Well, the judge has denied Michelle Troconis' request to overturn her conviction in the death of Jennifer Farber-Dulos. Earlier this year, Troconis claimed her attorney provided ineffective counsel by advising her to take part in police interviews that were later used by prosecutors at trial. But the judge ruled that that decision was a reasonable legal strategy at the time, even though it ultimately hurt her case. The court found no constitutional failure by her attorney, leaving Troconis guilty and her verdict in place. A New London man faces charges after allegedly making threatening comments on social media about the mayor of Norwich. Norwich police say they received reports of the posts last Thursday and launched an investigation. As a result, officers got an arrest warrant the following day, and today, police took 65-year-old John L. Moore into custody. He is charged with intimidation based on bigotry or bias and second-degree threatening.